what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, man. Man, after what I saw last night, man, it got me thinking, man. I thought about a lot of shit. I watched a lot of videos, man, and I did a video with 7-8. A LDBC video, and I listened to everybody's videos from H Money to Boxing Beats and Ron, and I just thought about the whole thing with boxing as far as Bernard Hopkins go. We seen the end of a legend, and like I said before, I hope Bernard Hopkins don't let his pride get in the way and try to fight again, because he just don't have it. I'm going to do a video study probably when I get home and tell you what was wrong with Bernard Hopkins, why he lost the fight. But forget about that for right now. Bernard Hopkins looked every bit of 51 years old. He looked his fucking age. And no need to ask, was Bernard Hopkins clean in that fight, because Bernard Hopkins was squeaky clean. He couldn't have been on no juice. After the way he fought in that last fight. And I know Bernard Hopkins, thinking to himself, damn, I lost my very last fight, and I didn't want to go out like that. But at the end of the day, Bernard Hopkins hadn't fought in 2 years. 25 months. That's pretty much 2 years. And he decided to get back in the ring with that dude. So it went how everybody thought it would go. I didn't want to be, I didn't want to do a video making up prediction, but I knew Bernard Hopkins wasn't going to win that fight. But, I just watched it just for the sake of me being a boxing fan. But most of us, we knew what was going to happen. We knew the outcome. We knew Bernard Hopkins was going to lose the fight, but we just didn't think he was going to get knocked through the motherfucking ring like he did. And then it just had me thinking, maybe it's time to put an age limit on how long you can fight professionally. And I know some people going to say, well, if you should be able to fight as long as you want to. I don't agree with that. It come a time, man, where, your age catches up with you and you just don't have, the mobility, you don't have the awareness, you don't have the elusiveness. After a while, it happens to everybody. The clock catches up with you eventually. Now, there are some exceptions where, some people can keep themselves in tip-top shape and, they can fare well against, younger people. But at the end of the day, Bernard Hopkins, he was just too old to be fighting a dude that young. Now, probably 10 years ago, Bernard Hopkins fights that dude, he would have schooled him. He would have beat Joe Smith Jr. with ease. But it was because he was 51 years old. He literally was fighting a dude that was old enough to be his son. And I was thinking about that shit. Roy Jones Jr. is 47, 48? And Roy Jones Jr. continues to fight. Even though Roy Jones Jr., out of his last couple of fights, he's been knocked out. He's been brutally knocked out, and he keeps fighting. And it's no reason for him to keep fighting. And sometimes you have to save guys from themselves. I think no sanctioning body should give Roy Jones Jr. a license to fight nowhere in the country. Nowhere in the United States, nowhere in Russia, nowhere. Because at the end of the day, Roy has children, okay? And Roy is a good analyst. He's good, man. He got all his scruples for right now. But if he keep fighting and get knocked the fuck out, he gonna end up possibly like Muhammad Ali. And we don't want to see Roy end up like that. And then with Bernard Hopkins got knocked through the fucking ring. What if Bernard Hopkins would have landed on his head on the concrete? He could have been in serious trouble. So that's why they shouldn't be letting these dudes after a certain age fight, I really think it's time to consider an age limit on how long you can fight professionally. Now, if you want to fight or at least fight full-fledged 12-round fights. Now, maybe when you get to 45, you can't fight no more than 4 rounds, just for your own protection. Or maybe you just shouldn't be able to be allowed to fight, period. Because at the end of the day, we got to start looking out for these dudes' health. And like I said before, I don't want to see Roy Jones Jr. die in the ring. That should have been a wake-up call to Roy Jones Jr. what happened to Bernard Hopkins. And they should have asked Roy, after what happened to Bernard Hopkins, you getting up there in age, are you going to continue to fight? And they should have asked him that question. Because it's very important that these dudes think about their safety and their well-being. I know it's hard to give up on something that you love so much, but sometimes it come a time where you got to say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. It happens to everybody. Barry Bonds came into a point in his life he couldn't play baseball no more. Same thing with MJ. He couldn't play, hoop no more. Peyton Manning couldn't play football anymore. And they tried to stretch it out as long as they could. But it came a point to where they wasn't as effective as they was. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar managed to last 20 years. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the real greatest player of all time. He managed to last 20 years. And after 20 years, it got to the point he couldn't play no more. It happens to everybody. So you got to draw a line in the sand and say, okay, enough is enough. And if you can't save yourself, you got to have somebody save you. And I just think I think these sanctioning bodies, I think these promoters, I think wherever these cities is where a dude wants to have a potential fight, they shouldn't grant these dudes licenses to fight after a certain amount of time. Because safety always comes first. And it's very rare where you get to retire on top. It happened with certain people. Like I say, Floyd, he retired on top without taking a loss. A couple of other people. But at the end of the day, man, they was lucky to do it. So let's just hope and pray that a guy like Roy consider not fighting again after what he's seen tonight. And hopefully he won't be too stubborn to face the fact that he's getting old. Roy is pushing 50. So I just don't want to watch a fight with Roy in it. Or then again, I don't want to hear about it since Roy don't come on TV anymore. I just don't want to hear about Roy, something bad happening to Roy. Because I won't like it. But anyway, man, that's all I got to say about that, man. I'm out.